We are recording, we are broadcasting. Welcome everyone. Call to order our regular city council meeting for April 6th, 2021. Roll call, Sylvia?
Mayor Mays?
Here.
Council President Rosner?
Here.
Councilor Browse?
Here.
Councilor Garland?
Here.
Councilor Young?
Here.
Councilor Griffin?
Here.
And Councilor Scott?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Everyone, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States
of America
and to the republic
for which
it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
and justice for all.
Way to go, Tim. You threw us off.
Sorry.
Too fast.
That's weird because
I'm going out of order, obviously, so I apologize. We're approval of agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the recently amended agenda. Well, that's the wrong one. Sorry. I make a motion we approve the agenda for tonight's business meeting.
Second.
Thank you, Russell. Thank you, Renee. A discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We have 5 items on our consent agenda this evening. Approval of the March 11th, 2021 City Council meeting minutes. Item B is approval of the March 16th, 2021 City Council meeting minutes. Item C is approval of the March 22nd, 2021 City Council meeting minutes. Item D is approval of the March 25th, 2021 City Council meeting minutes. And item E is resolution 2021-017, appointing Dorian Leibel to the Sherwood Traffic Safety Committee.
Move consent. Second.
Thank you, Renee and Kim. Discussion on the motion. All in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Constable. Next on our agenda is citizen comments. Sylvia, we have at least one citizen comment for today. Is that right?
Correct. So this citizen comment comes from Brian Ammer, a resident of Sherwood, and it reads, Dear Mayor and City Council, I am writing to suggest that gas-powered leaf blowers and other lawn tools are eliminated from use by the city workers of Sherwood. These pieces of equipment are very noisy and polluting, and electric battery-powered versions exist in the market, even for professional use. As backup for this, I will reference author James Gallows. Quote, 2-stroke gas-powered engines are so exceptionally polluting that they have been banned in almost all applications except lawn equipment. Simplest benchmark, running a leaf blower for 30 minutes creates more emissions than driving an F-150 pickup truck 3,800 miles. About 1/3 of the gasoline that goes into this sort of engine is spewed out, unburned, and an aerosol mixed with oil in the exhaust, unquote. Please consider eliminating these as a benefit to the city of Sherwood in terms of air and noise pollution. Thank you, Brian Ammer.
Thank you, Sylvia. And that was the only citizen comment, correct?
That's correct.
Thanks, Sylvia. So next on our agenda is presentations. For presentations, we get to recognize 2 outstanding members, young adults in our community that both recently attained the rank of Eagle Scout. And first is Jake C. Stoddard. I want to congratulate Jake. I'm sure he's making his family proud. We've invited Jake to submit a description of his project. Love to share that if he even wants to come on to a future city council meeting to share it. That would be awesome. But we are going to present Jake with a certificate of achievement on behalf of the Sherwood City Council and the city of Sherwood. We congratulate you on your outstanding achievement of attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. The second young adult, that young man, Connor Steele, also achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, and he did submit a description of his Eagle Scout project. And Sylvia has that to read for us, correct?
That's correct. Thank you, Mayor. And just for the record, it's Jack Stoddard, not Jake Stoddard.
Thank you. Thank you. I apologize, Jack.
Thank you. All right. So the project description from Connor reads, what I did for my Eagle project was I made an A-frame street and event signs for the Sherwood Robin Hood Festival Association. The reason why I picked this was because my Scoutmaster brought it to my attention and I wanted to do something close to my home for my community. The Eagle project itself took a couple of months to finish. What I did was to firstly figure out how I was going to build the signs, then got the supplies I needed to build the signs, figure out a way to get all the Boy Scouts there without breaking any COVID guidelines. Lastly, present the signs to the president of the Sherwood Robin Hood Festival Association. I couldn't have done all the Eagle project without the help of my friends and Boy Scouts and my family to help me and push me to get it done. Navigating COVID made it very stressful, but I am very proud of having the opportunity to serve my community. Yours in Scouting, signed Connor Steele.
Thank you, Connor. That's a great project. And yeah, we're in this crazy pandemic world, and to think that you and Jack both achieved the Eagle's rank of Eagle Scout and did your projects in these crazy days is certainly commendable. So great job. The Robin Hood Festival Committee, I'm sure, is very, very thankful for your contribution and work on those signs. So we will also be giving a certificate of achievement to Connor T. Steele on behalf of the City of Sherwood and the Sherwood City Council. We congratulate you on your outstanding achievement of attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. We have awesome young people in our community, and we see it all the time in one area or another. It's fantastic. And next on our agenda is public hearings. We have one item under public hearings, kind of a odd thing, but significant because I didn't know we didn't have such a thing. So it's ordinance 2021-002, adding a chapter, which you don't hear every day, adding chapter 9.66 to the Sherwood Municipal Code related to the use of City of Sherwood logos. And this is our first hearing, and Sylvia will let you read the right thing, but it's gonna be presented by Jake Reamer, our legal intern, which is awesome. So Sylvia, I'll let you read the proper script. I took a little bit of your thunder, and then we'll let Jake present.
The Sherwood City Council will hold a public hearing this evening to hear testimony on ordinance 2021-002, adding chapter 9.66 to the Sherwood Municipal Code relating to the use of City of Sherwood logos. Again, this is the first hearing on this item. The public hearing this evening will be conducted as follows. Staff will present the staff report. Questions, if any, by the City Council or staff. We will then review any written testimony, and at this time, Mayor and Council, we have not received any testimony on this ordinance. We will then close the public hearing. No other testimony will be received. Final comments by staff, questions of staff, if any, by the council, followed by council discussion. This is the first hearing before the council on this ordinance. Generally, the council will hold 2 hearings prior to making a decision. The second hearing on this item is currently scheduled for April 20th. However, in accordance with the Sherwood City Charter, council reserves the right to make a decision at the close of this hearing by a unanimous vote of all city and council members.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Sylvia. Jake, what's this all about?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. It's just a pleasure to actually get to meet all of you, having worked here for almost a year.
And all of it virtually, right? Have you been in City Hall very much?
No, I've been outside City Hall a few times to pick up some documents from Josh, but that's about it. So.
Wow. It's been a year almost. That's crazy.
Yep. And only got a few weeks left. So, but glad I get the chance to speak with you guys this evening. And
Absolutely. And
actually
Jake,
get to meet
where'd you graduate high school?
I graduated from Sherwood High School.
Woohoo!
2014.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I apologize for interrupting your presentation, so just slap me down. But what
No problem.
what have you thought of the experience of doing this, the internship this past year? It's not a perfect situation because of the remote stuff, but how's it gone from your perspective?
I think it's gone really well. It's been, aside from not being in person, I'd say it's been everything that I hoped it would be in terms of getting exposed to a lot of different areas of law and learning a lot from Josh and that sort of thing. So it's definitely, working for the city, you get to see a lot of different areas of law that you don't really get when you're working in a more specific either private firm or for like in criminal defense or prosecution. So it's been a good experience, and I've definitely enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, Josh has said nothing but great things behind your back. All right, so I digress. So what is this chapter you're proposing?
Yeah, so this chapter is designed to protect the city's interest in its logos. Essentially, the chapter would prevent third parties from using the city's logos in ways that falsely imply the city supports or approves whatever the city's logo is attached to. Currently, Oregon and federal law both prevent the city from trademarking its logos. And because of that, adding this new chapter to the Sherwood Municipal Code is the best method for the city to prevent misleading use of its logos. And the new chapter, it's pretty simple. It has 3 sections. The first section simply lays out and depicts what the city's logos are, and that section can be updated over time as the city adds or removes or changes logos. The second section lays out what is the violation and prohibits the use of a city logo to create a false impression that the city sponsors or approves of a particular message or activity that it does not. And the third section finally just establishes that each violation can result in a fine of up to $500, and it also allows the city to obtain a court order that to compel a person or entity to stop misusing the city's logos. Basically, because as we said before, this is kind of the best method right now for the city to be able to protect its logos and ensure that people aren't using it for misleading purposes. We recommend that the city council adopt this new chapter through this ordinance.
Excellent. Questions for Jake? Tim's hand's up.
I think you answered my question. So, well, first of all, have we had an issue recently with use of the logo in terms of what's driving this? And well, I'll just leave it at that. I was just curious if we had an issue.
I might be able to answer that. During the November election, I got a message from a resident who was concerned with our logo being used on some publications from one of the ballot measures.
Gotcha. And then my follow-up question is, it's not a follow-up, it's a different question. So if a fine was issued, is this handled in our municipal court?
Yes.
Okay.
Questions? Other questions for Jake? So Jake, the city logo that you have in the document is our black and white logo. We also have our color logo. Should we have that one on there as well, or is the black and white one sufficient?
The black and white one, so I believe the code language includes a disclaimer that the logo is the logo regardless of if it appears in color or black and white. And any of the logos that are listed in the code chapter are, there's language in the code that prohibits use of those logos or any substantially similar logos. So it doesn't have to be the exact logo.
Yeah, and I think that was a question I had asked Joe earlier when I spoke with him today, that the library, the senior center all use similar, they use the City of Sherwood, Tualatin Valley, Tualatin Wildlife kind of graphic, but aren't listed in here, but would fall under what you've just basically said is kind of this similar use logo. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So those would all count as substantially similar because they use the graphical elements of the main city logo.
So I have another question. So we're putting the logo right into the code. So if we change the logo down the road, we would have to update the ordinance, or is there a way to structure this so we could just do it through a resolution?
That actually might be a better question for Josh.
Sure thing, Jake. So yes, because this is an ordinance that that we would be citing somebody for violating and fining them, it does have to be adopted by ordinance. And so the logo has to be as part of the ordinance as well. We can't separate that out into a resolution.
Okay. I was just trying to streamline things if we would change the logo.
Right.
Sounds to me like Tim might have a future agenda item that he wants to add to the goal or something, maybe.
Our logo works great on a page when you're close to it, but from a distance, it's busy.
Yeah. I won't disagree.
It is quite an outdated logo from a modern perspective.
Yeah, and it takes me back to the conversation we had about signage on the city recreation facility with the YMCA, about having a logo there that showed that this is a city building, and our logo is really busy from a distance. It's hard to see it and read it. But that's a separate meeting, separate discussion. Not
For a branding conversation, Tim.
It's a branding conversation, yes.
So if council supports and adopts this ordinance at our second reading, safe to say that staff will be proposing fines in the fee schedule for the upcoming budget. Right.
So can I ask a question, Mayor?
Yeah.
Am I okay? So, and maybe Josh or Jake could answer this. So this is our ability to prevent someone from using the logo to maybe create, whether intentionally or unintentionally, the false impression that the city is sponsoring whatever it is. But do we have the right? Is it in there somewhere that says, but you can use it with the city's approval, or you have to be associated with the city, or where is that in there somewhere? So staff has that guidance, number one. Number two, are we going to do like a warning letter first, a friendly warning letter, and then when does the $500 kick in?
I can take the first part of that question, and that is that the language does prevent, or I mean, it allows for the city to allow people to use the logo if it wants to. It just prohibits a person from knowingly using the logo for the purpose of creating a false impression of sponsorship or approval.
Okay, thank you.
Your second part of your question there, Councilor Griffin, regarding process,
Yeah.
it would be the same as any other code enforcement efforts that the city engages in. So it would be referred to our code enforcement officer. his process has always been education first.
Education first, right? Okay, that's what I
Right.
wanted to make sure. Thank you.
And just to circle back real quickly on one of the points the mayor raised as well. So this ordinance classifies this as a Class B violation. We have a separate section of our code that defines what all the different classes of violations are and what the associated fine is throughout the code. And that's where Class B is defined as 500. So we wouldn't be putting that in the fee schedule. That's part of our code already.
All right. Great. Yeah, I would have read the full thing. Other questions for Jake? Tim's hand is up again or still up?
Still up. Now down.
Awesome. Hearing none, this action will continue and we'll have a second reading at our next city council meeting.
Great job, Jake. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I hope Josh didn't tell you had to wear a tie, because that would be really mean.
No, it was better safe than sorry. So.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Smart.
somebody dressed up for
Very
tonight.
smart.
Yeah, you look very sharp and you did a great job, and look
Yeah.
forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. And like I said, it's been great that you've been with us this past year. It's longer than we've had other interns in the past. You definitely been able to experience a wider variety of things, I think, which is great exposure to different areas of the law. Have you decided what you want to do with your law degree once you get it?
No, not yet. I'm pretty open to, just kind of see what's out there after I graduate and pass the bar.
Cool. Awesome.
Thanks again, Jake.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
All right. Getting back to our agenda. City manager report. Joe?
Mayor and council, I have a couple items before taking any questions you might have. We received some good news today. As the council knows and the public may be aware, we are in the process of creating a new urban renewal district in Sherwood. And today the Washington County Board of Commissioners approved at their meeting a resolution supporting a project that is on the list of projects in that plan. It's a public facility, and there's new state law that now requires the top 4 taxing districts that we're part of to approve that project on our list of projects. And the county did that today. So that's a positive step. Next week, the item will be in front of the TVF&R Board of Directors. We're hoping for an affirmative response from their board. And then in May, it'll be in front of the school district and then in front of you as a council as well to cover the 4 top districts in our area. So that's some good news moving forward.
And no additional action is required by the county after what they did today, correct?
Julia, there was the one item because there's a couple.
Yeah, they still have to adopt the plan, and that is scheduled for their May 4th meeting. I know the mayor knows, but for everybody else, when we gave a briefing at the work session with the county commissioners on that, they were exceptionally supportive and wanted to know if they could just do it all today, but just because of some paperwork issues from the county staff as well as our consultant, we couldn't, but we have every reason to believe that they will approve the plan. And the reason why they have to do that is because of the parcels in the Tonkin employment area that are not yet in the city.
Correct.
And then when the fire district and the school district both look, they will do the one action, and that is all the one step, and that's all they have to do, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, everybody other than the county only has to do the concurrence with the public building.
Yep. So thanks, Joe. What else?
And then just with the transition, an update. You talked earlier tonight in your work session about picking a recruitment firm for the new city manager, and I appreciate the council's urgency in that matter to move that forward. I think that's great. We'll get that going. I've been working very closely with Kristen Schweitzer. Kristen is in her new role as the interim assistant city manager and is hip to my side virtually in the last week already, and then preparing her to take over when I leave in May and become technically the city manager pro tem or the interim city manager until you pick somebody. So Kristen's doing a great job. Her calendar and volume of emails has increased significantly, but she's doing a great job so far. So she's on the call if you have any questions for her. But spending a lot of time together, kind of getting her prepped for her new expanded role. And otherwise, I think the big news is we continue to work on the budget, which is probably the biggest task that I have on my plate before I move on to my new chapter, is to get the city's proposed budget wrapped up and released in early May. So we continue to work through those. So a number of my senior leadership members are on the call if you have questions for me or any of them.
Kristen, you haven't changed your mind yet, right?
Is it too late?
Don't even ask.
Too late. No takebacks.
Compliments, Craig, you and your team. The city properties around town look great. City parks look awesome. Plazas, everything. And you guys kicked ass and got right on all the ice damage from last month, and yeah, kudos all around to your crew.
Thank you. I'll pass it on to the guys.
Any other questions for Joe or his team?
Right. I had one, excuse me, additional item for Craig, and just compliments to pass along to your team. But we have a subdivision going in where they're doing the infrastructure work right now near our house, and the city trucks have been out quite a bit doing inspections, and the staff has been awesome. There's, a lot of the neighbors have concerns and are asking questions about what is going on, and they're always helpful and answer questions, and have been very nice and easy to deal with. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. Pass that along, please.
And then Julia, you and your team, you got a nice congratulations on feedback from the development community about how great everyone is to work with. So keep up the good work. Always great to get feedback from folks that your team rocks.
Thank you. I hadn't heard that, so thank you.
Awesome. All right. Council announcements.
I'll go. Was that too quick? I just wanted to be Kim. She's usually first, so.
Right ahead, Russell.
Let's see. We met with the Parks Board last night, and the big ticket right now is just getting the Parks Master Plan to its final conclusion. And I think it comes before council on May 4th, I think is when it comes, when we have the public hearing. And so we reviewed a slightly new revised executive summary, streamlined, cleaned up, looks really cool. So that was last night. And then on Thursday of this week, the Citizens Advisory Committee for the Comprehensive Plan, our last module is Healthy and Valued Ecosystems. And I think the Parks Board has been invited to that. So we'll be meeting at 6:30 on Thursday of this week. And that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Russell.
I'll go next.
Tim?
Get in front of Kim. I just got a couple things. One is because of some transitions with the Small City Consortium, I've been elevated to the alternate GPI board representative from the Small City Consortium, and attended a meeting for Frank this last couple weeks ago, and it was a good meeting. Got to spend some quality time with the new CEO of GPI. They were very complimentary of. By the way, very complimentary of Bruce. I don't think he's on the phone right now, our economic development manager. I also I want to encourage that vaccinations are becoming more widely available. Me and my wife got our first shots. It was easy peasy. We were in and out of the convention center in about 30 minutes. Practically no lines to wait in. They really got it down to a science. I encourage everyone to get vaccinated and help us get herd immunity. And I also, on an additional note, with COVID, our numbers are rising a little bit. Multnomah County and Clackamas County are going back to high risk. If you follow the Washington County numbers closely, we are right on the cusp. So I encourage people to continue to practice good social distancing measures, wear your masks, so we don't have to go back to that high risk category. And at the end of the day, you're supporting health and you're supporting our businesses in town that have been able to open up wider because of the being in the moderate category at this point. And then I'm going to channel Sean real quick here. Hopefully I'm not stealing your thunder, but I have middle school kids who went back to school for orientation today, which is awesome. My kids are walkers, so just reminding everyone who's driving around town, we got a lot of kids walking to school. We haven't seen that in a long time, so keep your eyes open and watch for the kiddos on the street as they make their way to middle school. And of course, high school starts a little bit later this month. That's all I got.
Thanks, Tim. Renee?
I really don't have anything tonight.
Okay.
So I'll pass.
Awesome. Sean?
Yeah, not a lot either. Yeah, second Tim's comments about the vaccines. Please do get vaccinated when you have the opportunity. There are plenty of websites out there. Getvaccinated.oregon.gov is a great one to get registered on. I've been registered on that, and they'll notify you when you are eligible. And for the convention center, send you a link to get potentially an appointment there. There's plenty of other sites. OHSU does a lot of the airport and Hillsborough Stadium mass vaccination sites, so check them out as well. They release new appointments 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday, I think it is. So it's been compared to trying to secure tickets on Ticketmaster to your favorite band back in the 90s. You have to really be on there early and hit the refresh a couple times and grab an appointment, but it can be done. Check with some of the local pharmacies as well, or pharmacies in the area. And if you don't mind driving a little bit, there's quite a bit of allocation down in the Salem-Woodburn area, I've heard as well, if you're willing to do so. But yeah, please do get vaccinated if you can. We all need it. Our businesses need it as well. We can't get back into the high risk category. That'd be very detrimental to many of our small businesses. Other than that, I hope that, now that we've got the sunny weather, they won't be as visible, but I hope some folks were able to get out and see the rain artwork that we had around town on the sidewalks. I thought that was a brilliant art installation that we had, that along with the Be the Light in our Cannery Square. I think we're very well received by the public, and I think came at the right time for people. So now we have all this nice sunny weather out there. So I also will echo the kudos to Craig and his team and helping get our parks and public spaces up and operational and clean, and just ask that everybody respect that, and also keep an eye on your litter and everything else. Please don't litter. That's it. I'm going to stop talking now.
Thanks, Sean.
My turn?
I was going to call him Doug.
You can call it Doug. Oh, I forgot Doug hasn't gone. I was waiting till last.
Wait, can I add one thing before Kim goes?
No.
I'm just
What?
kidding.
Oh.
Kim?
I don't have a lot, but I just wanted to point out that next Thursday at the Police Advisory Board meeting, we will be having a Washington County Mental Health Response Team presentation. So there's a lot of questions in our community, like how our police department deals with mental health and whether we have anybody trained. And so just to educate the public a little bit on our partnership with the Washington County Mental Health Response Team. So that will be at 7 p.m. next Thursday. It will be live on YouTube. It will be recorded for those that want to catch it after. I think it'll be a good educational experience for our community. And then we'll also be continuing our conversation on use of force discussion that night as well. And then I had to call Maya at the senior center, I don't know, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, when I saw posting on Facebook that they had a coffee truck come to their parking lot. And there were some seniors who had brought their lawn chairs and were sitting out in the parking lot at the senior center, enjoying cups of coffee together, socially distanced, hadn't seen each other in a year. And that coffee truck was open, for a couple hours for the community to come get a free coffee. And I just thought, they are really thinking of out of the box ideas on how to get our seniors socializing during COVID, with their online stuff and their tax preparations, bringing people in, and this out of the box coffee truck, which then I also saw another post from the city's page like a week later that it was one of our parks one morning. So, and I think that's being funded with those grant funds, and I can't remember the name of it. Anybody else? Anybody?
Community Psyche grants.
Yeah, the Psyche grants. Yeah. So I just, I don't know. Maya and her crew are just doing a bang up job, and I just appreciate that. So good job, Kristen, and your team. That's all I have.
Awesome. Doug?
Just kind of touching on that and the comments we made earlier about Craig and the Public Works team and honestly, like all of our staff around the city and all these different departments are just so amazing. I mean, if you look from, Public Works to community development to, everyone else, library, everyone else, like, it's just amazing how great, we just hear this over and over and over again, and basically never hear any of the opposite, right? So I just really want to call out, just the entire staff and all the groups and all the leaders of those groups. I mean, obviously they're setting the direction, they're setting the tone, and their staff is all doing an amazing job. So, well done to all the directors and staff across all of our organizations. There's a planning commission meeting next Tuesday, work session as well as a public meeting. So that'll be here on this YouTube channel. And that's, I think, it. I just echo, I got my first dose of the vaccine yesterday, painless, in and out of a pharmacy, super fast. I probably was in there, maybe 5 minutes waiting to get the shot, 10 seconds to get it. And then I had to wait around for 15 minutes in case I fainted or something, which I didn't. It's actually I have less of a reaction than the seasonal flu shot, which is already basically zero. So I have less than zero. Get it done. It's quick and painless, and let's all be healthy and get out of this and go forward. So that's it.
Where'd you get yours at?
I got mine at a CVS pharmacy. I had to go up to Southwest, but it wasn't, no big deal.
Yeah.
And
I would just add that if you don't want to play the 1980s game of hitting refresh constantly or getting on the phone, if you sign up through the state website, they will send you an email saying you can schedule now, and that'll send you to a link where it's very easy to get your appointments. And
yeah, I would second that. I signed up through the getvaccinatedoregon.gov, received a website, and it does reserve you the option to schedule an appointment. Mine was is upcoming at the Oregon Convention Center. So very, very good process, very stress-free. And looking forward to getting my first shot this Sunday.
Awesome. Russell, you have your hand up?
I do. I have my hand up. I would first like to lodge a personal complaint against Council President Tim Rosner for messing with my hand the entire time. Someone please take the controls away from that man. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Number two.
Did he hack? Has he hacked the Zoom?
Control? I thought I was going crazy. My hand was down and then up and then down and then up. And then I had a heart, and I know it's him. He doesn't look guilty, but he does kind of look guilty a little bit. So actually,
Brad. I want to put it past Brad.
I'll pay Brad $20 if he, anyway, maybe this is not an appropriate place for the conversation. The chief can tell us that, but because Joe did send an email out about after 4 o'clock about a police incident that occurred in the city. If the chief felt it was appropriate, he could give us an update. And if not, that's completely fine, chief. I just thought if it's an appropriate forum, you could just let us know what happened. So.
Sure, I can give you a very brief update. So there was a traffic crash on 99W at Sipol outside of the city. It was handled by the Tualatin Police Department. As a result of that crash, there was a driver that fled the scene, and then another driver that was attempting to take, get information or whatever, but there was another car involved. Those two vehicles were involved in a road raid incident that came to a head at 99W and Sunset, where our officers got involved, and it included what we believe to be one gunshot that was fired. And we don't believe that there was anybody else in danger or that there was anything else, anybody else involved. We believe it was all contained, and the investigation is ongoing. Everybody's been identified, located, and so no threat, no ongoing issue, but we are continuing the investigation. So we'll just kind of leave it at that point.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Chief. Yeah, there's an example of the great police work our police force provides to our community, and the odd event from time to time that occurs that they need to respond to and do so in a professional way, and making sure everyone is safe. So great job. Tim, you had some other thing? No, is that a no now? You wanted to follow, you're trying to interrupt Kim or Doug earlier?
No, I'm totally good.
All right. We've been busy with Joe's announcement, as folks know, and the repercussions of that. Lots of meetings, lots of conversations. Busy with League of Oregon City stuff. It seems like there's something every day. Thankfully, it's all virtual. So in that role that I'm in, there's a blessing that I'm not getting told to drive around the state just to have this position, and busy with county stuff. But I'll just keep it brief like that. So anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn to an exec session? Hearing none.